stay standing and join us in welcoming both the Ford Falcons and the Chippewa Valley Big Reds to the playing field.
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to Week 2 of the MHSAA season. I'm Brad Fetters, joined by my broadcast partner tonight, Jeff Vitale, as we get set to call the action between the home team, the Chippewa Valley Big Reds, and the visitors, the Henry Ford II Falcons. And Jeff, just about an absolute perfect start to the season for Chippewa Valley a week ago in a really impressive 45-20 shellacking of Catholic Central.
Yeah, you know, talking with some of the coaches this week, got to see them in school a little bit. You know, there were some things obviously they felt they can clean up, and it's very rare you are a flawless week one, but I can tell you this, seeing and knowing the history of Catholic Central, you can count on one hand the number of times they've been pushed around, and that was one of them. That was just a dissection of team up front. You know, Cephas Harris, the game that he had, you know, playing his first varsity game. Shamar, big kickoff return. Just a lot of kids that made some plays off a rough season a year ago, and I think the big thing coming today is make sure your heads don't get too big, because you got to go with the next opponent in front of you before you hit that vaunted MAC Red schedule.
You mentioned Cephas Harris, 268 all-purpose yards, 4 touchdowns a week ago. He led the team in rushing and receiving last year, was all-state as a junior, and really he picked up where he left off a season ago. Tonight's opponent, obviously, the Ford Falcons, and really a tough loss for them on the road against Bedford. 54-0, so looking for some sort of positive here tonight. And guess what? You look at a team like Chippewa Valley on the sidelines. What can Ford 2 do here tonight to kind of maybe make some noise?
Well, you know, I mean, coming off of Temperance Benford, you're playing a better opponent in Chippewa Valley. I just think tonight you try to clean up a lot of things that killed you week one. You know, you want to compete, you want to get out there, you want to execute on some things offensively, taking care of the football, just doing some of those little things to stay in the game. The longer a team that is heavily the underdog stays in the game, the more confidence they get, the more dangerous they become. So if you're Utica Ford, just trying to clean up on some of the little things that you did in week one to get better as you get into their MAC schedule as well.
I know which coach speak, but I think a lot of it rings true. In the second game of the season is where you're really trying to see that difference, right? You're trying to clean up all the mistakes from week one, and for Coach Scott Merchant at Chippewa Valley, I think performance in week one was nearly perfect for him. Where can Chippewa Valley maybe even improve?
Well, I think the biggest thing today for the Big Reds is not looking at Ford as a lesser opponent. Treating them like they're just like an Eisenhower, Dakota, Stevenson, coming in and playing your game. You don't want to play down to your opponent. You want to play at your level all the time. Because if you do that, Ford's going to be around and is going to give you a scare. You know, this is still a young team, fairly young team, but it's a talented one. And I think a lot of people were surprised with their week one performance in terms of how they won the game. Maybe not necessarily that they won the game, but maybe how. And now the big thing is, well, you know, you want to be like a champion. You got to play like a champion week in and week out, and that's respecting your opponent and beating them like you should, but respecting them, not saying that they're just going to walk in and lay down for us. Because nobody around this area lays down for anybody. So everyone's ready for a game.
I think the MAC Red as a whole this season, I know we say it seemingly year in and year out, but it's absolutely loaded and really anybody's race, I think, this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think a 4-win team in the MAC Red could even get in the playoffs this year because of the way it is. I mean, they're you know, we've said it for years, there's no games up, but Grosse Pointe South is no joke, Eisenhower is no joke. You know, Stevenson brings back quite a bit of talent from last year's team that had a heck of a run in the state playoffs. I mean, and it goes on and on and on. You know, Dakota, you know, after winning the Red last year, comes back feeling they got something to prove. Obviously, the Big Reds, after being 2-4 last year, there's a lot of things that they want to be able to prove to people too. So, I mean, there's a lot of teams with kind of playing with a chip on their shoulder this year, and you know, it's going to make, especially if you're a MAC Red football fan, it's going to make for a heck of a fun season watching all this competition unfold.
We kick off our broadcast schedule here tonight with what should be a good one. Ford won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so Chippewa Valley will have the opening possession of this football game. And two very dangerous return men are deep for Chippewa Valley. Cephas Harris III, number 7. And number 21, Samar Hurd. He is a track superstar for the Big Reds, and he took one to the house last week against Catholic Central. And the kick is short, no surprise there. On the up man, we'll call for a fair catch, and we'll haul it in at the 36, and that's where Chippewa Valley will put the ball in play.
If you kick it deep, you either got Shamar back there or Cephas. I just kick out of bounds.
Pick your poison, right?
So, a good game plan here. The big thing is obviously you watched on film, you got to stop number 7. Well, you also got Maddox Altamirano out there. You know what Schuster can do. But one guy was really quiet last week. I'm expecting to have a big day today is the birthday boy, Zach Ernat. Zach Ernat had some big games last year, and I think this year he can get under the radar in a lot of games. This is a kid you do not want to cover one-on-one. He's a big, tall receiver with good hands. He also plays defense. And I'm looking for Zach to have a big day today on his 18th birthday. Who knows, maybe he'll match 18 touchdowns or something like that. You never know.
Ernat wears number 19 in red. Chippewa Valley in those home reds. Ford comes in with white jerseys, white helmets, with that maroon stripe down the pant leg. And a little screen pass outside. Completed to Kalen Shaw for 9 yards, just short of the sticks, I believe. Nope, they're going to give him credit for 10 to move the chains on the opening play.
I mean, we're a long ways away in this blinding sun in our eyes, but boy, that ball looked like it hit the ground.
It sure did.
It didn't look like it got there. Every single coach on the Ford sideline is waving their hands. A few of them are still trying to mention something to the referee, but boy, it looked like that pass did not get there, but ended up being a 10-yard gain.
Ryan Schuster, 12 of 16 a week ago for 251 yards and 2 touchdowns. Averaged 12 yards per completion, looking for the home run ball in the second play of the game, and it's completed out there to Altamirano. The captain, Max Altamirano, hauls it in, brings it down all the way inside the 10 to the Ford 8.
You're giving up 2 defenders to put on him, and he burned both of them by 7 yards. So nice ball by Schuster on the first throw. Beautiful ball. Maddox had to go up and get that one. He caught it. Really, there was a couple guys open that play. He kind of had his pick. You can kind of spin the lazy Susan and pick who you want to throw to on that one. So Big Red's in business at the 7, I should say, sorry.
So 43-yard completion there from Schuster to Altamirano. Altamirano, a senior, 6 foot, 175 pounds. And Jeff, Altamirano is getting some looks at the next level as well. A lot of D1 athletes up and down this roster for Chippewa Valley, including that man right there, Cephas Harris, picking up where he left off a week ago. Strides in the end zone for a quick 6. His 5th touchdown of the season. Yeah, and
Ford had that side of the field stacked, but Cephas just did a nice job of getting up into that hole and just following his blockers and getting in the end zone. And just like that, 3 plays in, and it's going to be 7-0 Big Reds here. Just an abundance of talent offensively in the skilled positions, and guess what? Both of the lines, the offense and defensive lines, return a whole bunch of starters for Chippewa Valley. This is an absolutely loaded roster for Coach Scott Merchant. Kick is up, and the kick is good. And just like that. Yeah, Ahmed Basic, who absolutely destroyed a 41-yard field goal last week to the uprights, would have been good from 61. Came out of nowhere. Actually saw him, they had him kicking out last year and out of nowhere, and got him out here and got him in some kicking camps this summer. This kid's on a lot of college watch lists to kick also. He has got a big time leg, but he's very accurate as well. And he just boot that one right down the middle. So 7-0 Chippewa. 3 plays, 72 yards, 72 seconds off the scoreboard, and just like that, it is the Big Reds 7, the Falcons nothing. Sort of a Mac Red white crossover here, and these two teams used to be somewhat rivals. Ford used to play up in the Mac Red for a number of years, and lately they kind of been ping-ponging back and forth between the Mac Red and the Mac White. This is the 37th all-time meeting between the two schools, and Ford actually has the advantage all-time, 19 wins to 17 losses. Last time these two teams hooked up was all the way back in 2013. That was an easy Chippewa Valley victory in that one, 42-6. So about 8 years separating the last time these two teams have matched up. Well, that ball drops 9 yards deep in the end zone. Ford will bring it out at 20. Yeah, even back when I was here, when of course this field was grass and these bleachers didn't even exist, Ford was kind of the team to beat. So yeah, I remember taking lots of beatings from from Ford, and obviously over the past probably 20, it's been Chippewa giving it back. But the Krenzels that have gone through, they had a heck of a run. I actually went to that game years ago when he threw for 7 or 8 touchdowns against Chippewa Valley. They put up 60-some points, but they were very fun to watch. So,
Craig Krenzel of Ohio State fame.
And the Chicago Bears.
Starting quarterback for Ford this year will be Luke Kameg. Junior hands off straight ahead. Pickup of a couple, and D-line swallows up the back and drives him down this beautiful field turf here at Chippewa Valley. Christopher Williams, the senior running back, getting the carry there.
Yeah, the kid they had last year is up playing at Northern Michigan, Young Byers, and little brother is now here as a freshman, I believe. So.
Meg in the shotgun this time, turns and hands off once again to Williams. Williams exploring the left side this time, up across the 25, up to the 26. So it'll bring up a 3rd and about 4.
I mean, I like the game plan. Chippewa runs a 3-3-5, and Ford just going to say right now, we're just going to come at you and try to establish an identity here. 2 plays, 6 yards. Trying to spread them out. It was a nice job of getting up in the hole there, and I think it might have even surprised the Big Reds a little bit here, and we'll see what the Falcons do. But, up front, Chippewa's defense is pretty darn good.
4 wide receivers set this time for the Falcons. Chippewa Valley shows blitz. They bring it. Just a little short route. Pass caught by Jack Nilsson. Up to around the 35, so just an easy pitch and catch on the 3rd play. Good enough for a 1st down. They'll move the chains.
Yeah, that was a short little dig route. Came underneath there, was wide open. Nice job of just getting in his rhythm and stepping in. I did get hats off to the running back there. He had to come across the quarterback and pick up the blitzer. Did a nice job of giving him an extra second to throw that football and complete that pass for a 1st down for the Falcons. So I like the play call. Nice little short pass, get your quarterback some rhythm. 2 nice run plays on 1st and 2nd down, I like the Falcons are doing right now.
Another handoff to Williams, and once again, that really experienced defensive line for Chippewa Valley in on the stop, and 3 returning seniors along that defensive line, including Kendrick Denson, 5'10", 280-pound defensive lineman in there for Chippewa Valley.
Well, and you got Anthony Wright at 5'11", 265, who's only a sophomore, had one heck of a freshman campaign last year. Those 2 are mean and nasty, but you also got Aaron Mitchell up there. I mean, you got this defense is nasty. It's fast. It's very physical. It tackles pretty well. It defends really well in the secondary. So,
and that was one thing that Coach Merchant said in the preseason, was just how fast this defense was, and there's some of that speed and space. They get to the quarterback, his pass falls incomplete, but he was backpedaling there for his life and was just able to float out a pass.
Yeah, speaking of Anthony Wright, he was chasing him like he was a cheeseburger, and just got the pass off. There was 3 Big Reds coming from his blind side. Luckily, he just was able to just get rid of the football, but boy, the Big Reds came with everything on that one, and now puts Ford in the 3rd and long situation, which those corners now are going to play a little tighter and look to maybe jump something here.
3rd down, 8 to go for the Falcons. We're able to pick up their last 3rd down. That one was much more manageable. That one was 3rd and 5, so a little bit more room to work here. Shotgun, 2 backs this time for the Falcons. And they're going to hand off to Williams once again, and he just cannot get to that next level. Right at the defensive line, lots of penetration once again, and more than likely Falcons are going to have to punt this ball away.
Yeah, I think that last blitz kind of forced their hand on that last play call, at least what it looked like. I thought they were going to try to throw it a little bit downfield, but just an off-tackle run play with basically out of an offset eye in the gun, so more of a pistol. But Ford got obviously trying to play field position here to put it deep. You got Zach Ernad back to receive the punt, who can has got very good hands and very experienced back there. So. Good snap.
Kick is away. It's a low line driving kick. It's going to bounce at the 30 and kind of check up right there. It'll be down at the 28-yard line. So
Punt, down to
2nd possession of the ball game now for Chippewa Valley will start on their own 28-yard line.
Yeah, Ernest did a nice job of communicating with everybody to get away. That ball, he was hoping if it would take a forward hop up in the air, he would have had some nice yardage to return it there, but it kind of checked up and went the opposite way he was running. Good job on telling everybody to get away. You know, with as quick as the Big Reds offense struck on the last possession, just don't turn the ball over and let them out on the field there and let them do their thing.
So it'll be Ryan Schuster back to work. Harris to his left. Schuster barks out the play call. Hand off to Cephas. Ducks his way through the line. Stays on his feet. Spins out of a tackle. Look out. He's gone. Down the left sideline. We'll see if a Falcon can catch him. No, sir. Touchdown. Big Reds. Cephas Harris, 62 yards to pay dirt.
taking the handoff.
Now, we saw that run literally 5 times last week, but he was dead to rights. Maybe a 5-6 yards up the field. And the next thing you know, he's 70 yards down the field for a touchdown. Just this kid just does not give up running the football. Like, you literally got to put him through the turf to get him down.
Yeah, check that. It's a 72-yard run there for Harris.
God, he's
shortchanged him 10 yards.
He just, there's just no quit. I've never seen a back like him where he just 4, 5, 6 guys get up. He's just still pumping his feet. Young running backs, don't stop your feet.
The extra point is good, and just like that, it's all Big Reds here in the early going. They lead 14-0. One play, it's all it took, and Harris in the end zone. They call him Trey.
Yeah, he's going to get familiar with that red turf this year quite a bit, actually. With what, now it's 6 on the season, and we're 5 quarters in. So, you know, if you're trying to stop Chippewa Valley, obviously it starts at number 7, but, you know, defensive coordinators out there, there's a lot more than number 7 here, but he's pretty doggone fun to watch. Wow.
Sounds like he's going to take his talents to Youngstown State. The Penguins.
Good for him.
Sure getting a good one.
Yeah, oh, they're for sure excited to get him, for sure.
Mentioned he was a All-Stater a season ago as a junior. Obviously, that shortened season that saw Chippewa Valley go 3-4, and you look at that record and say, well, it was a little bit of a down year for Chippewa Valley, but then you look at their losses, and they were like all one-possession football games that came down to the last drive of every single game. You had the 9-point loss to Dakota, a 4-point loss to Grosse Pointe South, a 1-point loss to Ike, and of course a 7-point loss to Stony Creek in the playoffs. So really, Chippewa Valley, for as young as they were a season ago, they were in every single ball game.
Yeah, you know, that's a sign of a good football team. You're not getting blown out. You're in games. They just had to find a way to win those, and you know, that helps put a little chip on your shoulder coming in. You know, and you try to turn some of those losses, you know, into wins the following year. And of course, you came out against Catholic Central, dominated performance. You know, you're not even 5 minutes into the game here. You're already up 2 scores. I mean, you know, you can see the chip on their shoulder as they start to get into the meat of their schedule in the next few weeks.
Oh, just a lot of heavy doses right now of Williams, and that front 3 of Chippewa Valley is just turning the early part of this game into a nightmare for Christopher Williams.
Well, Cameron Frazier came in from his outside linebacker spot, came flying in there to make the first hit, and had some help bringing him down. But boy, he came off that edge so hard. And this Ford team right now is having some trouble with the speed of the Chippewa defense.
And we mentioned Ford did not score a point last week in their 54-0 shutout loss to Temperance Bedford. Kamek pointing out the middle linebacker. He's in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers to his left and another handoff to Williams, and he's brought down right there by Jeremiah Mason,
for the ball carrier, number 2.
senior defensive back.
Yeah, nice tackle to meet him in the hole. I'd like to see him come up more in the hole and finish that. You're kind of letting that big fella get a head of steam on you. Usually that doesn't end well, but he did a nice job of taking out the ankles for the ankle tackle. Not before the Falcons get 4 on that play, though, to make it a little bit more manageable. But if they're going to be 3rd and long all day, it's not going to go well for them. You do not want to be 3rd and long on this defense.
Obviously, you would think a passing down here for Ford. Trips to the left. Kmeg looking that way, faces all kinds of pressure, able to complete the pass.
Oh, missed tackle.
Postakes, the receiver on that left side, and Ford sideline making some noise.
Yeah, that missed tackle won't go well with Coach Wilson. They had him there at the line of scrimmage, and now it ends up a first down. So instead of getting the ball back, you give him a new set of downs. You know, got to get your head across the football, get those shoulders in on him, and make that tackle. But he didn't do that, and that gave the Falcon, number 4 there for the Falcons a chance to bust that for a first down.
Yeah, Kostakes was behind the line to gain, so that broken tackle allowed the Falcons to pick up the first down. The drive stays alive here for Ford. They pick up a first down in their very first drive of the game, but nothing more. And look out, Williams lowers the head and gets out to midfield. So a couple of big plays in a row now for Henry Ford II. And just like that, they're all the way up to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, and that'll get the Falcon crowd excited. Did a nice job of sealing the edge there and getting to the outside. And nice run, way to finish the run there. Lowering your shoulders and running over that Chippewa defender. And Falcons got a little something going now. The couple first downs almost to midfield.
And that's really what this Ford team needs, is a little bit of momentum. They're going to say Williams stepped out of bounds at the Ford 48. A little swing pass to the outside. Look out! Oh boy, big collision down there. An absolute blast.
Oh, Jeremiah Mason. Oh boy. That almost was almost one of the old school guillotine shots right there. That almost was a head coming off. That was a shot. Good Lord.
Aiden Sheridan was the intended wide receiver, and you just kind of hold your breath as Kmeg kind of led him out on that swing pass, and an absolute huge hit.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake by the quarterback there, and I'm sure in the huddle he kind of said, please don't do that again.
Kmeg probably pounded his chest and said, my bad. This time he'll give to Williams once again, and Williams with the stiff arm will be just short of the first down markers, but I get the sense here that Christopher Williams, a good hard runner for Ford.
This kid's got some nice field vision. You know, he won't have height and weights, but he looks a pretty big kid from here. And when he gets going downhill, you know, look out. You know, he's got some weight there. And that left side doing a nice job of blocking and holding off the edge for him, and letting him get outside and doing his thing. You know, Ford's got something good going here.
Albert Nielsen to the right, 3 wide receiver set. Kmeg looks back at Williams. 4:55 left to go, first quarter of play. Williams jukes out a couple defenders, twists and turns all the way down to the 39-yard line. So another good hard run will give Ford another first down.
Yeah, nice cutback. He had to make a quick move right at the line of scrimmage. But he really sees the field really well, and he gets in those open spaces. I really like his field vision, and he's doing a nice job. So if you're an offensive lineman with a running back like that, just stay in your blocks and he'll make the read.
Ford certainly not reinventing the wheel. They're just going with their bread and butter, and it's just some simple handoffs to Williams. And like you mentioned, him finding some of those holes and busting through.
Looks a little tired right now. He may throw it here. He's got his hands on his knees, leaned over there for a little bit. Yep.
And they will do just that. Kmeg rolls out to his right, looks for a receiver downfield, finds one, led him once again, another big hit.
Nice catch.
Postakes able to hold on. He is slow to get up as he will go down on his butt as he took an absolute shot once again.
Well, that was Darren Hawkins on that one, but boy, I'll tell you what, for a lot of you who've never played this game, to make a catch like that, getting hit like that is very, very, very tough. So hats off to Kostakes there for making a great catch on a very, very tough catch, very, very tough play.
It's a hard throw for Kmeg on the run, thrown to that sideline, and Kostakes, you know, he had to have heard footsteps. He's able to make the catch, secure it, and he appears to be okay. Scott Merchant, the head coach at Chippewa Valley, giving him a little bit of a fist bump. He realizes
just got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, that Kostakes stood in there and took that abuse and held on to the football. That was a tremendous catch there. Sure,
a sign of respect from Coach Merchant. You know, you really appreciate those tough kids. You know, it's not easy anymore. You know, we got sort of the.
Special
I'll
thanks
just leave
goes
it
out
at
to
that.
all the Big Red backers.
I want to be back in the
None of this
broadcast
would be
booth next week.
possible
Put it
Yeah,
that
without
we
way.
want
each
you
and
here,
every one
Jeff.
of the Big Red backers.
But
Way to go,
fantastic
Big Red
catch, going out to
backers.
catch his breath. Obviously, when you're injured, you got to go sit a play. But I'm sure you'll see that young man back in the next play. He's been a pretty big part of what the Falcons have done so far, along with big old number 2 back there, which I think he's going to get the ball here. I'm going to go on a limb.
Got a little bit of a breather, and this time he tried to explore the right side, and nothing there.
Yeah,
no surprise, it's Anthony Wright once again.
Yeah, he ran into the big red machine there, and usually that doesn't end well for you.
Anthony
Only a
Wright.
sophomore, folks. 5'11", 265, Mr. Anthony Wright.
That kid is so big and so strong.
Wearing the worn sap number 99, right?
Yeah, I believe he was 62 last year, so obviously one of the graduating seniors, giving up 99, and he was all over that one. And
It's got to be a badge of honor, right? If a defensive lineman to wear number 99.
you know, that defensive line up front, I mean, you got 280, 265.
I think
And
really,
then even Aaron Mitchell, who's 215, has got a little bit more speed there. But I mean, that, you know, the 3 guys, that's some big boys right there.
Ford's going to take a timeout. And I think we often take for granted the line play, right? When we watch a football game as kind of outside observers, obviously we pay attention to the quarterbacks, the skill position players. But it's the unsung heroes along those trenches that really are the guys we pay attention to, the offense and defensive lines. And that was a unit last year for Coach Merchant that was extremely young, and I think that's really kind of set the tone this year, is just the improved line play, both offensively and defensively for Chippewa Valley.
Yeah, and absolutely. And again, no matter how good your team is skill player-wise, if you don't have the line up front to open up the holes and give your quarterback some time to throw, you're going to be in for a miserable year, because you're just not going to go anywhere. Your offense lives and dies on that offensive line. You can get guys, you know, obviously the one anomaly we know here in Detroit, Barry Sanders, who didn't have much of an offensive line,
true.
but and was able to run for, but Barry Sanders was a freak of nature.
Right,
So,
a once-in-a-lifetime type player.
right. You know, these kids here, I'm sure, get his number. I'm sure Williams, really appreciate how well his offensive line has worked tonight. He's had some nice holes to run through. He's gotten some nice gains. As you go through the MAC Red, you know how great Dakota's offensive line is. Grosse Pointe South and Eisenhower and Stevenson, who rode that offensive line last year.
Meggs looking deep, going to change directions this time. Look out, he's just going to float a pass into trouble, and it will fall incomplete. Boy, oh boy, you just cannot make that pass, and Meggs took a huge hit. He is down, and he is not getting up. The offensive linemen want to help him up, and he just refuses to get up. He's going to stay down.
Yeah, there's some booing from the other side, but that wasn't a dirty hit. Pretty much he released that football, and he got popped a little bit. He didn't really get popped. He just got shoved to the ground. Might have hit his head on the turf a little bit, shook him up a little bit, but not a dirty play on that. Sometimes the fans, it makes it look worse than it actually is.
So I think this is a no-brainer for head coach Tony Smith and Ford. They have to go for this, right?
Sure, you're on the 36. Big Reds are 2 for 2 on drive, so you gotta try to stop the bleeding here. Even if you turn it over, they got the ball on their side of the field. So
the line to gain is the Chippewa Valley 28.
maybe a little screen here to Anderson or Williams.
So it'll be a 4th down, 8 to go.
Bring that defense in and throw a little screen. Oh, he's
Back,
blocking.
just a 3-stop drop, and huge hit once again. And
Now that flag came from the other side. That was a coaching staff flag there, because
Pass attempt incomplete.
that ball was right there. That
Flag
wasn't
down
that far
at the
by
end
him.
of
That
the
was not a dirty play. That's the coaching staff helping him out there.
so perhaps a little bit of a makeup call.
You don't see the Chippewa coaches complaining very much about it. So, yep.
Dead
personal
ball,
foul.
personal foul against the Big Reds. So an automatic 1st down for Ford with 2:50 left to go in the opening quarter of play.
You love a chippy defense. Sometimes it bites you, and that was the time it bit you, and you just kind of correct it. You talk to the player, and you move on, and you get some extra reps for the defense.
best defenses in the country have a little bit of an edge, right? Or maybe a lot of an edge.
Yeah, listen, if you're too nice of a defense, you win the sportsmanship award, Brad.
Yeah, you don't win championships, right?
No.
An automatic first down, and drive stays alive for Ford, and once again it's Williams plowing ahead for a couple. Ball marked down at the 17-yard line, a pickup of just 2. Bring up
I'll tell you what, though,
8.
a lot of backs will cut that outside, and there was nothing there. He did a nice job of just being patient and getting what he can get. When you're in the red zone, you just want to keep going north and south. You do not want to go backwards. So too much east and west, you're not going to go anywhere, especially with the speed of this defense. So that was a nice job by Williams there, just being patient and staying up in there.
Ford will spread him out. They send a man in motion. And they give once again up to the 15-yard line, nothing more for Williams, who's...
Yeah, Aaron Mitchell did a nice job coming down from his defensive end spot there to make that tackle. Boy, this Big Red defense is quick.
So Williams will check out of the game.
Ford's doing a nice job of getting a little bit of a push. It's just not a significant push where it's, huge chunks. They got a couple of huge chunks early in this drive. And it's just been kind of short little yards here and there, ground and pound. But I'll give Ford a lot of credit, though. They're staying patient. They're not panicking. They're staying with their game plan.
Johnny Habash, the new running back, into the game and goes right into the heart of that defensive line. And
yeah,
that's a welcome to the football game there.
Habash got bashed on that play.
No gain on the play, leading the
boy, he ran into Big 9-9 and a few other big boys in there, and he didn't go anywhere quick. And the hole was there for just a split second, closed up right away, and the Big Reds filled it quick. And Ford's looking at a 4th and long here, and I would think at 14-0, a field goal here really doesn't help you here. You got to go for it.
Yep, when presented opportunities in the red zone, you got to take your shots as the underdog, and Falcons are a big underdog in this football game. We've seen Kameg roll out on some of these design plays to give him a little bit more time in that pocket. We'll see if they do that once again. No, it's just a 3-step drop, and he gets flushed out of the pocket this time, dumps it off.
Nice play.
And a terrific tackle as they bring down Aiden Sheridan short of the first down markers, but there is a penalty flag on the play, so we'll wait to see what the call is.
Ozzie Wells was on the tackle, did a nice job of making that play. I think if you're the Big Reds holding on the Falcons, you're going to decline it because that's turnover on downs.
So that will be the call.
You made the play, you're not going to take the penalty. Yeah, decline it.
I don't know what the holdup is here. Yep, that's the easiest call to make there.
So you take the play, which I think he got, if I'm not mistaken, he got down to the 13-yard line, and that's where Chippewa will take over.
That's what indeed will happen. So a turnover of downs there for Henry Ford the second. Good long sustained drive, no points there, however.
If Cephas takes this one to the house, he's going to have 2 carries for 159 yards. That's not a bad yards per carry average.
Talked about Barry Sanders earlier in this football game. Those are Barry Sanders video game style numbers.
The old Tecmo Bowl Bo Jackson.
Yeah, he was like a cheat code, wasn't he? The old LA Raiders.
And that's one thing about he's built a lot like Barry Sanders. Short, stocky, big legs, strong legs. But boy, he just does not go down. Although he's not in the backfield right now. Zion Mitchell's in the backfield right now for the Big Reds.
Schuster will throw one out
goes Shamar.
Into the flat. Shamar Hurd, he's a track superstar. All the way up to around the 28-yard line. So a big chunk play there once again for this Chippewa Valley Big Red offense.
Had a fantastic kickoff return a week ago for a touchdown. Boy, when he hit that opening and hit that burst, it was beautiful. Sophomore, first year on the varsity, and state a national champion, I say, in the 200-meter and the long jump.
Hit 2 catches for 23 yards a week ago. Handoff this time.
Zion Mitchell.
9 yards for the senior.
But that Big Red offensive line just does a nice job of putting that defensive line on their skates and driving them backwards. And they are just a whole nother level of nasty. I really love that kind of line play. I try to get that out of my middle schoolers, and it's just it's fun. And a lot of people, like I said, the offensive line doesn't get the glory positions, but they're really the heart and soul of the football team.
mentioned Shamar Hurd going to go to, well, we think perhaps Syracuse is an offer from Syracuse University, the Orangemen.
I'm sure a couple of years left, and you got 3 more seasons of track to kind of display your talents as well as at the AAU circuit. I'm sure he's going to have all the top track programs flagging him down, and who knows? He may even develop into a heck of a football player. He's got a decision. He can go play both, or he can. I know Tyrone Wheatley back in the day at Michigan ran track and football, which is very tough to do there. You don't see a lot of 2-sport athletes in college anymore. It's very tough, especially in the era of the specialized athlete.
Yeah, and I think you're starting to maybe see a little bit of doing away with that, and I think a lot of the coaches nowadays are kind of instructing parents to have their child play as many sports as possible, right? You make them into a well-rounded athlete.
Yeah, I love the commercials on the MHSAA about that, and lots, a lot of people promoting that, which I think is great, because again, it develops all the muscles in your body that if you're just on a specific sport, really don't get developed. And it just kind of changes kids up too. It helps them with injuries, just so much.
I'm sure the wrestling coach here at Chippewa Valley wouldn't mind some of those offensive and defensive linemen on his wrestling roster in the winter.
No, you mean the offensive coordinator? I mean,
all the way up to the 45, an easy pitch and catch there. This Chippewa Valley offense is a well-oiled machine here in week 2. This is a scary proposition for a lot of the MAC Red schools. They're going to be looking at this Chippewa Valley team on their roster, on their schedule rather.
Well, now Ryan Schuster taking the reins now, and when you thought you've seen the last of them, oh wait, there's another one coming up.
Yeah, Andrew Schuster, the sophomore.
Maybe we can keep genetically cloning things at the Schuster household.
Tommy Schuster at North Dakota, that one's thrown out in the flats and falls incomplete. Yeah, Tommy at North Dakota started all 7 games for ND last year at a 66% completion percentage, 10 touchdowns, was runner-up for freshman in the year in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. There's some big shoes to fill, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he had a great year last year, that season here, state championship, undefeated. That team was loaded with talent.
So not only do they go undefeated, but he didn't throw an incomplete pass in the championship game. State title game, he goes 13 for 13. The only player in state title history in the state of Michigan to not throw an incomplete pass.
Well, and when you throw to the targets he throws to, it definitely helps you relax. David Ellis, I can remember that year vividly saying about 97,000 times, don't kick the ball to David Ellis. And what did everybody do? They kicked the ball to David Ellis. And, eventually you're going to hear me say, don't kick the ball to Shamar Hurd. And to keep kicking the ball to Shamar Hurd, this is going to be...
Zion Mitchell getting a little bit of a run here at the running back position. Really nowhere to go that time. Terrific play.
Number 62 coming up there, Tyler Sisko. Beautiful job sticking Mitchell in the backfield. Nice hit, too. You heard that all the way up here.
Kind of wrap a bow on what Tommy Schuster did here at Chippewa Valley. As a starting quarterback, he went 30-6. Impressive stuff. Tommy Schuster, really impressive stuff now.
Yeah, that's 3 seasons. You're talking about sophomore, junior, senior year, losing just 6 games. In this conference?
Yeah, it's an average of 10-2 every single year. So this time, it's Ryan Schuster.
Nice catch.
Terrific effort there to stretch the ball out to the 30. That was Kalen Shaw, number 8, the junior wide receiver.
I think Ryan was going to check down and hit the back in the flats, and then he saw him at the last minute. He saw Shaw and delivered a nice ball there. He's coming back, though. Looks like there is a penalty on the play. Big Red offense going the wrong way here.
Waiting for the indication. More than likely it was a hold, I would imagine.
Looks like looks like they're marking off 10, so it had to be. Ouch. That takes it to 3rd and 19. That takes away the crossing pattern here. You might see maybe Shamar run a deep post here. If you're covering him one-on-one, good luck trying to stay with him. Or even Cephas on a wheel.
So 3rd and forever for Chippewa Valley. Good snap. Schuster, plenty of time, delivers a pass out. Earn it.
Birthday boy, the catch. I told you, you're going to have a big day today.
End of Schuster's pass.
It's going to be just short of the line to gain.
Got quite a big bat. I'd say you're going to go for it right here. With the way you're running the football, number 7 in your backfield.
Yeah, no hesitation here for Scott Merchant as he leaves the offense on the field. The ball's down at the 39. Line to gain is the 36, so it'll be a 4th and 3. 10:36 left to go in the first half. Schuster scans the field. Ford shows blitz. Chippewa Valley will look over at this near home sideline for the final play call.
Like the hard count. Maybe run Cephas off right tackle here. There's some space there.
Harris back into the game at the running back position. And
throw, quick hitch.
And Ernan again. Good enough for a first down right at the chains. Good route running there by Ernan. He knew his spot on the field, ran to it, turned around, the ball was delivered on time and completed for the first down.
Yeah, nice job by Zach. And again, that's that 3-year experience, getting to that marker, coming back on the hitch and being able to catch that ball. He got stuck right away, got the first down, moved the chains. The Ford giving him a lot of respect, so you can pretty much hit that hitch route whenever you want.
And playing soft down below, earn it at the bottom of your screen. Schuster looks that way again. Pocket collapses. He's going to float one out there, earn it anyway. And right on cue, into the end zone for the easy touchdown. Jeff Vitale looking like he knew the play call ahead of time there, perhaps. A little bit of a soothsayer, fortune teller.
Well, the birthday boy was big on this drive with 3 catches, and again, with all the attention that Harris has gotten in Alta Moreno, I felt that this could be a big day for him. And of course, he just chest bumps with Keelan Shaw, who knocks Ernan on his butt, the hardest hit he's taken all day today. But a big touchdown pass there. He put a double move on 2 guys. He was by him, and good to see it. Good to see number 19 get in the end zone.
Number 65, Charles Lee. Number 77.
Yeah, Ernan not catching a ball last week.
No.
So his first couple catches of the season, obviously his first touchdown of the season. It'll be Schuster's 3rd TD pass of the year. And
now, while he doesn't show up in the stat book for offense, he actually played a heck of a game defensively. So helped shut down that CC onto the tack. Not a lot of tackles because he plays safety.
He had 3 in the game.
Yeah, but he does a nice job by playing center field there with him and Hurd. A lot of experience with him back there, and then of course with Schmar with the speed. So, this has kind of been how we thought this was going to go. It's 21-0 already. 10:09 to go in the first half. The Big Reds right now 3 for 3 on their first 3 drives.
Making it look easy.
Boy, oh boy. 2 touchdown runs by Cephas, a touchdown pass to Ernan. Henry Ford in that last drive, I think had something nice to build on. We'll see how they kind of go from there, but they definitely need to get on this board right now because when this Big Red offense is clicking, boy, oh boy, you got to get into you got no choice but to get involved in the track meet. Thought we were having offsides there, yeah. Yeah, there was about 2 or 3 guys ahead of the kicker over there on that far side. That was an easy call to make.
It's a rule in football that has changed over the last couple of years.
Offsides indicated by the
Gunners
judge.
used to kind of be able to take off before the kick, and they've reeled that back. And I think at some point, perhaps, I don't know, looking into the future, that we do away completely with kickoffs.
Well, what's kind of funny is, they're worried that that extra 3 yards they get, but compared to running 60 yards and 40 yards, you ever seen football players run sprints? The longer the sprint, they don't run as fast in the last 10 as they do in the first 10. So it's kind of a funny little thing, but I get the danger, obviously, at the college and the pro level. The kick return game that's being discussed, but I don't know. I'm kind of more of a traditionalist, and I love that part of the game. I think it's a lot of fun. It puts guys on the team necessarily that wouldn't get a chance to play on that team in those positions.
Yeah.
And if you take that away, you're going to eliminate all those positions, and I just think that's not good for football. I just think there's a better way, rule-wise, that you can kind of safeten it a little bit.
Well, and I think the adverse has happened, right? So they moved the kickoff kickoff up 5 yards, and then what's every team seemingly do? They kick the ball short of the goal line and force the team to return it, right? You don't really see too many touchbacks anymore, especially in the college game, because it seems like kickers are so good they can pin teams down at like the 1 or 2 yard line, and all of a sudden you have kickoff.
And your coverage
returns.
teams are so fast getting down the field.
Yeah, the gunners, they're specialists for a reason, and you're absolutely right. They get down there lickety split, and that's when those big collisions happen with the gunners and the wedges.
But even at the pro level, that allows guys to make hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that, as opposed to not playing football at all.
And roster spots, sure.
Yeah.
So Ford will start their third possession of this football game from the 32-yard line. Got a punt and a turnover on downs. They moved the football in that last drive, just had nothing to show for it as they got into the red zone before stalling out. And talking about stalling out, Williams has had the majority of the carries here tonight. He has been good at times, but loses a couple there.
Yeah, there was nothing to go there. Ernat and Mitchell came up and stuffed that pretty quick, and he had nowhere to go. That left side, or that right side of the offensive line there just had too many guys over there to block. Chippewa had him outnumbered as Ford goes to the short side of the field.
Picture perfect night for football. Temperatures in the mid-70s. A big difference from a week ago when both of these teams had to perform under 90-degree temperatures. Chippewa Valley winning that game against Catholic Central on the campus of Wayne State. Didn't feel like football weather in week 1. It feels a little bit more crisp in week 2, but
it was nice to watch that game in my 74-degree house last week.
Yeah, on Valley Sports Detroit. Chippewa Valley getting a little bit of state play on the provider there.
Tomorrow they're at Cass Tech in Muskegon.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that they're picking up some weekly football games.
Well, that's like a small college football game right there.
Yeah,
History of Muskegon and
absolutely.
Cass Tech as loaded as they are, and it's going to be a fun football game to watch.
Rolling out to the left.
Throw.
Caught and near the first down markers.
That's been the go-to guy all day, Costakes, and he makes another big catch and moves the chains for Ford. So every time Ford has needed a big third down conversion, he's been the guy. And that was a tough catch. He had to come back for the ball. Then he had to get upfield and get the first down. Nice job by the young man. Falcons move the chains.
Mentioned Valley Sports with weekly games. Heck, here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television, seems like we have a game every single week as we kick off our coverage here. I think we have a total of 6 games and going to be excited to bring you all the action all season long between our 2 schools here in the Chippewa Valley School District.
I know Dakota's at home next week, so there's probably a good chance we'll be there.
Well, we're going to be actually right here for the game against Eisenhower. Turn in the corner. Get a different name there. Marco Constantino, number 21 in white, turn in the corner.
Made a nice hit on the end of that run, too. Lowered his shoulder real nice. And
so once again, Ford gets it out to midfield. So back-to-back drives where they're picking up yardage.
Yeah.
Haven't been able to cap a drive off yet.
I will tell you this, not seeing the Temperance-Bedford game last night, but I like right now what they've been doing offensively. Obviously, they haven't been able to finish it, but they're doing some good things. I think sometimes, like just that last play right there, they go to the well one too many times. I think if you kind of mix in, and it's kind of shocker not to know where number 2 is at, because he's not on the field, and he's kind of been the workhorse here, but try to mix in Costakes and Williams to just get a good blend of that going has worked so far for the Falcons, but sometimes I think they go to the well one too many times.
Constantino was looking for the edge there and couldn't find it. Got back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll bring up a 3rd and 3 to go from midfield.
Williams is still out. I wonder if he got hurt. You can see him walking over there by the track.
And Constantino, the man deep in the backfield, and they're going to turn and hand off to him. All kinds of speed, but he ran right into a linebacker.
Cameron Frazier, he ran through Constantino.
Those 2 big forces meeting right at the 49-yard line. It was Frazier that wins that battle as he drives Constantino down to the turf, and
well, Williams
decision
checked
time
back in the
once
game.
again. Yeah.
I think they're going to go for it. I mean, you're down 21-0. You haven't stopped Chippewa Valley. You got 6:40 to go in the half. I mean, you pinned them at the 13, they've scored. You had them at the 20, they've scored. Yeah, and they just you got to get some first downs here, control the football, and keep that offense off the field. You don't want to put that offense back on the field.
So Ford will spread it out once again. Ford wide receiver look and some movement. Nope, we got a timeout called first by Chippewa Valley defensively.
Will be charged to the red and white.
So Big Red seeing something there in that Ford formation that they weren't quite prepared for, with 6:22 left to go in the first half. We mentioned Chippewa Valley will be home once again next week to take on Utica Eisenhower. That will be a game we will have right here on Chippewa Valley Cable. And then the week after that is a road game, the big one, the rivalry matchup against Dakota. That will take place over
I'm willing to
at
bet
Dakota.
we're going to be there.
That's pretty safe to assume. So 3 straight weeks here in Chippewa Valley on Chippewa Valley Cable. And another road game for the Big Reds at Romeo to wrap up the September portion of their schedule. As they really get into the heart of the MAC Red play right off the bat. You get Eisenhower, Dakota, and Romeo. There's no off nights in the MAC Red, but those are 3 extremely tough games to open up league play.
You know, Brad, you said to me earlier, what do you do when you're against an opponent you're sober matched with? It's stuff like this, calling timeout on a 4th and manageable, where you're going to try to work on stuffing it. Little game scenarios where you try to work for those next weeks when you play the Eisenhowers, when you play the Dakotas. Look at broke some tackles. Oh, Coach Wilson's not going to be happy about that. They had him 4 yards in the backfield. Instead, he gets a first down. I don't see a flag, so that is a first down.
Meg able to pick that first down up with his legs.
Number 1.
A lot of guys reaching out with their arms instead of hitting with their shoulders on that play.
And Chippewa Valley brought all kinds of pressure, and you thought for sure they had him bottled up in the backfield. A terrific Houdini effort there to escape that pressure and pick up the first down. So Ford, you know what, making some noise here in this football game. They've been driving. See if they can.
Yeah, that was nicely done by K-Meg. I mean, he had red shirts coming in from all angles.
It's going to give to Williams this time, and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. And Anthony Wright, one of the first Big Reds in on that stop.
Wearing the number 99 jersey, Anthony Wright.
Boy, is he going to be a dominant force for years to come.
Well, and Kendrick was in there. He's not easy to move. So 2 big guys that are so at low center of gravity. They're so hard to move. And you even watch them fire off the ball. They play like they're 200 pounds. They're low. You know, they're low. They extend their arms. They keep that balance really well. They get off their blocks. They're just so tough to block. It's like having a 5-man front with 3 guys.
So Williams checks out and replaced once again by Constantino. Late penalty flag came in.
And I don't know if that's a hold or a face
On the
mask.
carry for the Falcons,
Face
number
mask.
21, Marco Constantino.
Face mask on Ford. He pointed to the Ford side.
Aaron
And Chippewa
Mitchell,
Valley
number 17
defense
on the tackle.
is clapping.
Might have an offensive face mask here.
Aaron Mitchell, Big Red, credited with the tackle. And officially going to come together and talk things over.
Quincy Musk. You know, you send one guy in, 2 guys come out, and the coaches are screaming to get back in there, and they both go back in there like, no, you come, you go.
As long as you got 11, you're okay. As they're going to back this up, this is going to be an offensive face masking, so perhaps a stiff arm gone wrong.
Yeah, or could have been on the edge on a stock block, or maybe got up there. One of the receivers just came out of the game, so I don't know if he was being pulled because of that, but it was definitely an offensive face mask. Well, if stiff arm got up, hands to the face by an offensive
legal
lineman.
hands to the face, right? Chippewa Valley bringing the pressure from the edges. This pass is thrown to the middle of the field, in and out of the hands of Aiden Sheridan. Sheridan's been a sure-handed receiver so far for Ford, but he drops that pass, and
K-Mig did a nice job there, stepping up in the pocket, making a nice throw there, hitting K-Mig across the middle, put the ball right where it's supposed to be. I mean, you can't throw that any better. I know Sheridan's probably kicking himself because he knows he can make that catch, but now it becomes a 3rd and long here. And I don't know if you like this, but the Big Reds obviously bringing in some speed rushers here. They're just going to bear down on you now. You might as well paint a bullseye on number 1 there in white.
And that's why they bring Chris Williams back into the game. Some extra support in that backfield, that extra chip block. A little bit of a high snap. Nope, they're just going to hand it off to Williams. A very conservative play call there on 3rd and long as Ford will just concede it back over to Chippewa Valley here.
And you would think you'd punt here when you hand off on 3rd and long.
For the Big Reds, number 2.
Because it wouldn't make much sense to run the ball on 3rd and long if you're going to go for it on 4th down.
Right, you take your shot deep downfield on 3rd down, right? You would think.
Yeah.
And that's indeed what Ford's going to do, is they're going to punt this ball away to a very explosive Chippewa Valley offense. The man deep once again for Chippewa Valley. He's going to take a few more steps back. He's going to put his heels right on the 15-yard line. It's a good snap. The kick is away. It's a terrific punt. Fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line.
Well, nice move by K-Mig. He's kind of that all-purpose quarterback. Kick, punts.
From their own 8-yard line.
Put a nice foot there. Big Red's going to start the 12 for the 2nd time today, right? And I think they took over the 12, or was it the 13 earlier they took over? I think they started a drive on the 13. 12 or 13. I can tell you this, Brad, 3 minutes and 29 seconds is plenty of time with the way this offense operates.
And you got a quarterback like Schuster and a running back like Harris. We already saw it here tonight. You can score on one play. That's indeed what Trey Harris did, and 72-yard scamper on their 2nd drive in the football game. Picks up 7 yards there up to the 20-yard line. Clock continues to tick down to 3:15 left to go in the 1st half. Reminder that Ford will have the opening possession of the 2nd half. Ford showing blitz, they back out of it. Schuster points out the middle linebacker once again. That's where the blitz is coming from. They fake the handoff, little play action. Schuster has to get it out in a hurry. Oh, what a diving catch! Alta Moreno, he's been quiet here tonight, but what a spectacular highlight reel catch. Down to the Ford 40. Oh my, what a play.
When you need a big catch, I know you got Burnett, you got Alta Moreno, you got a lot of weapons, but Maddox just seems to really come up with some big ones there, and that was huge.
Maddox, Alta Moreno,
just seems to go get that ball. Schuster puts it right where it needs to be. And this offense is such a well-oiled machine. It's scary.
40 yards down to the Ford 40. 2:35 now left to go. Schuster, calm, cool, and collected. Why not? Hands off to Harris. Harris dragged down by his football pants.
Gain of 1 on the play, leading the charge for the defense.
Hitzelberger, the first Falcon in on the stop.
Victor Hitzelberger.
Good football name, Victor Hitzelberger.
That's a pretty good one.
Junior
it's right up there
defensive
with
lineman.
Dick Butkus.
Yeah. Mike Ditka. Remember that 97 Michigan defense? He had a sword, a steel. Good football names.
But all you needed was a Woodson.
And Ian Gold.
There's Maddox again, right at the stick, coming out of bounds, coming back for the football and a deep out.
What do they say? Water covers 75% of the earth. The other 25% is covered by Charles Woodson.
That's right.
First down for the red and white.
Who knows? He may cover some of the water.
Ball rest at the 29-yard line.
In the Football Hall of Fame this year.
Michigan State was sure happy to see him go.
Yeah, that one-handed highlight reel interception, I think, is etched in everyone's mind.
Yeah,
right?
you know you've made a heck of a play when they show that highlight 20-some years later and it's still like it was fresh, like it was yesterday.
Schuster able to dig up that low snap, turns and hands off to Harris, who absolutely lowered the boom. Charles Zombo took the brunt of that abuse. Cephas Harris pops up and
check, please.
Ball carried by number
gets some
7,
low fives there.
Trey Harris.
Don't stand on the tracks when the train's coming through, son.
Yeah, choo-choo there, huh?
Oh, jeez.
Timeout on the
somewhere.
field.
Someone made cramping up.
Looks like it was an official's timeout.
No, there was
Didn't
a player on the far side who tried to get off and went down, so I think that he was cramping up. That's where the timeout came from. 45 for the Falcons was over there on the side of the field.
Well, that was Zombo who took the lick there by Cephas Harris. So we'll monitor him, see if he's able to check back into this game.
That was a hit. And, you can see him from up here, and you may say he may not look that. I can tell you that kid is a tank. He's an absolute tank. So if you're gonna come, you're gonna come in there for a hit. You better be ready.
Handoff this time to Zion Mitchell. Mitchell turns the corner, gets through an initial arm tackle. Finally brought down at the 9-yard line. 84 seconds remaining now in the first half. Plenty of time. It'll be 1st and goal to go now for the Big Reds.
Ethan, I want to say Neep, did a nice job there, 37, of getting outside there and sealing one of the ends that allowed Mitchell to kind of make a little cut up to the field and get up a few further more yards because he got out there and sealed the corner, an outside linebacker actually, and did a nice job there.
Setting sun has finally made its way behind the buildings here at Chippewa Valley and makes the job of these two broadcasters high atop the field a little bit easier. Cephas Harris back into the game, under a minute left to go.
Number 55, Jacob Bianco.
Ball marked down.
Coach Washburn doing his, making sure to get all the personnel in the game there. I think he ran the 30 in about 3 seconds. He flew down that sideline, calling for Aaron Mitchell to get in the game as the Big Reds showed their goal line.
About a 3.30 that time for Coach. Got the 4.40. Well, about a 3.30.
Timeout.
That's a big guy covering a lot of ground. Some quick time right there too. I mean, that was impressive to watch.
Picking them up and laying them down, right?
If we got replays going, I would love to see a replay of that. That would be that'd be probably something fun for the team to watch in the film room come tomorrow. Coach Washburn high stepping it down the sideline to get Aaron Mitchell in the ball game so that he can play his tight end spot in the goal line set.
This will be a film that Chippewa Valley will be thrilled with, as seemingly everything has gone right for them in this ball game.
Yeah, I mean, they touched the ball 4 times in the first half. They're threatening on the 3 to make it a 28-0 game.
Plenty of options here on 2nd down and goal to go from the 3.
Yeah, I mean, look who's in the backfield.
You got 3 guys back there. Hawkins,
Harris,
Mitchell,
Hawkins, and Mitchell.
And Harris.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You could literally call plays off this play sheet with a spinner. Pick them out of a hat.
Kind of a veer option look here for Chippewa Valley, and
little chess game going on now. Ford calls timeout.
Ford's gonna say, "Hey, we haven't seen this formation on tape, right?"
I thought they showed it a little bit last week. This has been their goal line for the last 4 years. So, or I might have even been since Coach has been here. I think kind of the old school T
formation.
Just take that wishbone back and move them back a little bit, and just the old T formation.
Abundance of riches on the offensive side of the ball for Chippewa Valley.
When you got that big offensive line, this formation looks really, really easy when you got those big boys pushing everyone around, but it also brings the defense up. So it's mano-y-mano, getting hats on hats, just trying to run north and south and get you 3 yards.
Some of the holes that this offensive line has opened up tonight, you or I could probably run through. That's saying a lot.
I'll tell you what, I would say there's a 95% chance this ball's on the ground, but it would not surprise me if Coach Denreiter here dialed up a little play action and let Denreiter hit one of his tight ends.
Tight ends in the game include
Tyler Buchholz and Mitchell.
Aaron Mitchell.
All right, 95%. I call timeout here.
They pitched to Hawkins, who kind of tripped and fell. Trying to turn that one upfield, blew a tire.
Tackle for the Falcons, number 6, Benjamin Babjack.
Benjamin Babjack,
The
tackle for Ford.
Squad.
20 seconds, 3rd and goal to go from the 4.
Yeah, that's the hard part about, when you got the defensive guys up on the ball like that, when you get to that edge, they all flow there. This is almost something you want to really try to pound between the tackles and really get that offensive line. Now, Ernat comes in the game, so you might be looking at them trying to spread them out a little bit and see if you can spread that defense out a little bit and run, or even throw like a jump ball,
And that's why you mentioned the play action,
right?
6'3",
yeah.
You get the 8 guys in the box, 9 guys in the box, and the play action opens up all kinds of avenues to roll out and throw it to one of your tight ends.
Or you widen someone out, Maddox on a slant, which has been open all day long. That formation's been there all day long, but it looks like they're going to their, Maddox and Ernat are back in the game, so 2 receivers that are normally in the game.
The ball spotted on the 3. I guess you just pick out your best 2-point conversion play, right?
Little trips look to one side, so you might have a guy come underneath and then almost like a pick play. You see a lot in the NFL and college.
Maybe even a jet sweep, as they do send a man in motion. It'll be Ernat in motion, and they're going to throw it out to the flats. Oh, what a defensive play.
Williams.
Yeah, Chris Williams getting up one of those big paws to knock down that pass. Good recognition of that linebacker position there by Chris Williams.
That's exactly what they did. Those receivers came down, and Cephas came on a little wheel route out of the backfield. Williams just got a fingertip on that to break that pass up because he was open. If Schuster gets a little bit more under that, it's a touchdown. But Williams did a heck of a job from his defensive linebacker spot there to knock that down. And Big Red's going to go for a short little field goal, which is basically an extra point.
Ahmed Basic on to attempt a field goal.
Alta Moreno, the holder.
Ahmed Basic on to kick it.
6'2", 180-pound kicker just absolutely drills that one through the uprights. And 14 seconds left. Chippewa Valley extends the lead down to 24-0.
Well, if you're Ford, the way the first half went, that's a victory right there. I mean, you made a nice stand at the 3. Big Reds were 1st and goal at the 3, and you held them to a field goal. Those are things that you can look at as you move into week 3, saying, listen, here are some of the things we did well. These are the things we need to do moving forward. And they have definitely had some good moments in today's game.
You mentioned that week 3 game. The opponent will be Lance Cruz North for Utica Ford, and that was Ford's lone victory a season ago against Lance Cruz North. Is that LCN team undergoing another change at the head coaching position, as LCN seemingly has kind of gone through a bunch of coaches in the last handful of years.
Yeah, seeing them at the middle school level, I mean, they have some talent out there, so the question is, where is it going or what's happening? But when you change coaches quite a bit like that, it definitely doesn't attract many people to want to go over there, knowing that you're not going into a position that you might not be there for a while.
Yeah, stability's always nice. Nice to know you have a head coach that's more than likely going to be there for all 4 of your years.
And again, you see some of the programs that are strong. The coaches have been around for a while. Dakota, Chippewa Valley, those staffs have been there. You got a few young up-and-coming staffs. Stevenson, young staff they took off last year and really made some strides. That big, massive offensive line, and you got the speedy running back over there.
Justin Newcomb, the head coach at Stevenson, coming over from Cousino. Good young coach.
And talk to Natalie Lupo.
This staff now here at Chippewa Valley has been around for quite a while.
You looking for a car?
I can remember way back when Coach Merchant made his debut. That year they upset Eisenhower. Back then we didn't beat Eisenhower very much. Kind of since he's been here, it's almost been the expectation to beat Eisenhower. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the winningest coach against Ike that's ever walked through these doors.
And they sure have had Dakota's number as well as of late.
Yeah, I know the big 2 years ago when they finished 9-0, Dakota got them in the playoffs. You know, there's always that fun rivalry there because these kids all play against each other in middle school as well. So
a really impressive first half of play out of this Chippewa Valley Big Red offense. Defense has pitched a shutout through a half of action. We'll take a quick break here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. The Big Reds up 24-0 over the Utica Ford Falcons. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, it'll be the start of the second half of play.
Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the field, your 2021 Chippewa Valley High School Big Reds Marching Band. This evening, the Big Reds will be performing their 2021 field show entitled The Music of Danny Elfman. The show features musical selections from movies Elfman composed for Nightmare Before Christmas, Beetlejuice, Spider-Man, and that old television show, Tales from the Crypt. The band will perform their show opener tonight. Drum majors, Harrison Lagasa, Jocelyn Blanks, and Seth Cooper. Is your band ready? The field is yours.
Welcome back to Chippewa Valley High School. 24-0 Big Reds out in front of the Ford Falcons. Brad Fetters joined my broadcast partner Jeff Vitale, and it was all Big Reds in that first half, really led by Cephas Harris. A couple touchdown runs and really a nice performance out of their starting quarterback, Ryan Schuster.
Yeah, I think Coach Merchant can be pretty happy with the way the offense played in the first half. I'm sure Coach Wilson and Coach Merchant probably mentioned the defense. There were a lot of opportunities to get Ford off the field and a couple arm tackles. They kind of got away with it. So I'm sure they probably mentioned something about that in the second half. Probably the only thing Chippewa really needs to clean up a little bit. But all in all, 24-0. And the Big Reds are going to kick off here to start the second half. And we'll see how that defense comes out and plays, and then maybe that little halftime talking to.
Ford has been able to drive the football. They just haven't been able to find the end zone, put points up on the scoreboard, and I think that's going to be mission number one for the Falcons here in the second half. They're looking for their first points of the season, as you're now a game and a half into the year.
I tell you, Brad, I train all summer to get up these stadium steps, and it still sucks every year.
It is a hike.
Man, catch my breath by the fourth quarter.
There's a deep kickoff that'll sail over the goal line for the automatic touchback.
Yeah, he can hammer it. He's got a heck of a foot, and only a junior. Gonna enjoy watching him kick for another year.
Number 47.
Mentioned this is the 37th meeting between these two schools. This series dates back to the Jimmy Carter administration. The first game was played back in 1977. A 22-6 win for Ford. Oh boy, how far we've come.
Yeah, those were not the
glory years,
brightest
for
of days
Valley.
for Chippewa Valley football. I can tell you that right now. They were coming off a few great seasons before that, but that was kind of getting into when things got a little rough.
Mag flushed out. Gonna roll out to his left now, and will finally slide down at the 25-yard line. It picked up a 5. And
I know you've referred to him as Houdini a few times, and there was a few times he's looked dead to rights and some poor angles, and he's done a nice job of escaping those pressures and getting something out of nothing.
He's been flushed out of the pocket quite a bit here tonight, and it hasn't come easy for Ford offensively. It's Chris Williams has shown some flashes of brilliance in that running back position, but for the most part, Chippewa Valley has been able to hem him into the backfield. So second down and 5. Meg in the shotgun once again, hands off to Williams. Plunges ahead for 4. He's going to be just short of the line to gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
Ford coming out with a lot of energy. A nice scramble for a 5-yard gain. Williams off tackle there for a nice 4-yard gain, and Falcons coming out showing a little something right now. Got a Falcon down the play.
And it's Williams, the running back. And he has been missing in action on a couple of their offensive series, so obviously some cramping that he's dealing with here this evening.
It doesn't look like, she's not really stretching him out, so I don't know if it's...
And now the helmet comes off, so now you worry perhaps maybe a knee or ankle.
Twisted up in that pile a little bit. It looked like he did get kind of spun around there at the end of that play.
So he remains flat on his back. And we mentioned Tommy Schuster committing and going to North Dakota and setting all kinds of impressive marks as a member of that North Dakota squad. His brother Ryan is committed to play at Lafayette. As Williams is on 2 feet and going to hobble over to the sidelines. Lafayette, a member of the Patriot League, which is a 1AA subdivision league. Lafayette's one of the oldest college football programs in the nation. Started playing football back in 1882, which is just 3 years after the University of Michigan started playing football. And Lafayette's been credited with 3 national championships.
Nice job. A little squirt off tackle, fought through there and got the first down.
Constantino.
jersey, Marco Constantino.
Trying to scroll through Twitter and see if I see any scores yet of any games today, and I don't see any.
Week
That's
2 of the
disappointing.
MHSA season. Some of the interesting MAC Red matchups include Warren Mott at Romeo, Utica taking on Stevenson, Dakota taking on Anchor Bay, Lance Cruz North and Eisenhower hooking up, and Grosse Pointe South and Lakeview. So that red-white crossover week in week 2 of the MHSA season. Oh boy, Sterling Heights Stevenson in a little bit of a dogfight tonight.
Definitely did not expect to see a 21-14 score with them in Utica.
On the stop for the Big Reds, number
Dakota
6.
up
Cameron
17-7
Fraser.
over Anchor Bay. It's perhaps Cougars not showing everything in their playbook, or Anchor Bay maybe just playing them that tough. Anchor Bay got off to an impressive start. 37-14 victors in week 1. Another short little run there back to the line of
No game on the
scrimmage.
play. Ball carried by number 21.
I'll tell you what,
Marco
Constantino's been really running hard there. Not going down on the first tackler, really just driving his feet, getting everything he can. You know, Falcons playing with a lot of confidence right now. I'll tell you what, they have not really played that bad offensively. I know they got no points to show for it, but you know, they've been moving the ball in this Big Red defense. They just haven't been able to cash in on the big play.
You mentioned that Anchor Bay 37-14 victory last week. That was over Ann Arbor Pioneer. So that's a good road win for Anchor Bay. So perhaps they'll make a little bit of noise in the MAC White this year. So 3rd and 5. Rolling out, throwing. It's intercepted by the safety for Chippewa Valley, Darren Hawkins. He's a ball hawk. Comes up and makes the interception.
Wearing the number 9 jersey, Darren Hawkins.
So that was Ford getting into an obvious passing down situation, and Hawkins floating over there and making the interception. And
that's the one thing we haven't seen, Brad, tonight, was he forced that one. It sailed over the receiver's head and landed right in the chest of number 9. And then we'll just get as many yards as you can. And now you put that Big Red offense in a beautiful position to start the second half.
And Kimmeck's been a little bit of a kind of a game management type role as quarterback, just kind of don't force any mistakes, and that time he did do just that. Now Cephas Harris catches that ball in the flat, changes direction, still on his feet, and finally brought down at the 24-yard line.
God, he just doesn't go down easy. I mean, he is just so strong.
Kind of just pinballs around down there, and
got bent in half like Gumby there, and he still kept going.
So 2nd down, 2 to go. Perhaps you take a shot downfield.
I mean, you know, he's thrown 2 touchdowns. We've run for one, thrown for 2, I believe, right? Or no?
He's thrown for 1.
2.
Yep. Run for 2.
Trey Harris.
Coach Berkshire right now, Denrider content on just kind of grinding it out right now. The Big Red offense has really pretty much been able to do whatever they've wanted to do so far tonight. I know in that last drive, you know, that was a nice play there by Williams to break that touchdown pass up. It led to a field goal. But the Falcons have not slowed down the Big Red offense much tonight.
And you look at some of these D linemen for Ford, and you see just how undersized they are. And that's the difference between the MAC Red and the MAC White. You're just not going to see the size. And look at that run by Harris. Once again, he twists on the arm tackle. His jersey's going to have a bunch of holes in it because he's been grabbed and pulled on, but just refuses to go down.
It's just not a good time right now for that Falcon defense trying to tackle number 7.
79 jersey.
And the MAC Reds got to be put on notice. They're going to have their hands full all season long with Harris in the backfield for Chippewa Valley. He is a special player. Look at this, just going to get that edge. He's going to twist and turn and coast into the end zone. Too easy right now for Trey Harris. third touchdown of the game.
He just makes it look so easy. And as soon as he gets out in space, you can't tackle him in space. It's just not favorable to you. I mean, and not only that, if you get a hold of him, now you got to get him to the ground, which is not favorable either. So I mean, you're just in a lose-lose situation, and the Big Reds just rode the back of number 7 all the way down the field right there.
Harris's 5th rushing touchdown of the season to go along with 2 receiving touchdowns. It gives him 7 TDs now on the season, as Ahmed Basic will look to add on the extra point. The kick is up. The kick is perfect as it is drilled through the uprights, and just like that, the Big Reds now lead it 31-0. 6:35 left to go in the third period of play.
Yeah, and the Big Reds in high gear right now. Again, extending that lead. Did he miss the extra point? It hasn't been put on the scoreboard.
Thought the signal was it was good.
Yeah, we did see the referees raise their hands.
Perhaps somebody next to us in the press booth is falling asleep.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. It's added up there now. 31-0. One man that hasn't fallen asleep is Cephas Harris, 3rd touchdown run of the game, and he can kind of maybe perhaps put his feet up just a bit here and watch the second half of this football game.
Give that man a recliner.
He's earned it. Prime time last week on Valley Sports Detroit. He put on a show, and he has followed it up with another terrific performance here tonight in week 2.
I think you may still see him in the game unless they get a running clock. Or maybe at least, you might see Hawkins or even Mitchell come in and get some reps.
Yes, Zion Mitchell has been sort of the backup here tonight in limited action.
Attention, please. One of our student athletes have seemed to misplace their keys. We are
So
looking
Ford,
for
second possession of the second half.
Once again, that's 2 keys on a black
After the
lanyard.
touchback, they'll start on their
If you
own
find
20-yard
those
line.
keys, would you please bring them to the press box? That's 2 keys on a black lanyard. Thank you.
And that's Williams in the backfield, Jeff, so good to see him back in the game, although he might not be too thrilled to be back in this football game as he once again gets swallowed up.
Anthony Wright was chasing him, got a hand on there, and then he got cleaned up by about 5 Big Red defenders.
Anthony Wright, man, he has been so good here this evening. Defensive end position on the near side of the field here. 3 wide receivers.
Yeah, that poor right tackle for Ford is going to be seeing 99 in his nightmares tonight.
To K-Meg's right, and a little bit of a jet sweep, looking to turn the
Might have been a
corner.
hold, a block in the back. There's a couple there, no flags at all. That crackback block looked like it got him in the shoulder a little bit, and then the corner out here was getting held pretty good, and nothing. Got a 2-yard gain out of it.
On the tackle, number 6, Cameron Frazier.
Aiden Sheridan on that jet sweep, so that's an athlete just trying to get him going in space. And
the problem is Ford's trying to run plays that you run against the slow defense. The problem is you're not facing a slow defense. You really want to attack Chippewa north and south.
especially in that 3-3-5 look. I mean, not many high schools line up in a 3-3-5, and that's just because Chippewa Valley has so many athletes on the defensive side of the ball.
Not many colleges line up in a 3-3-5.
Good way to get sideline to sideline. Like you mentioned, north-south would seem to be the best way to run against a 3-3-5 defense, but
sprinting out and end around reverses and those kind of things play right in the speed of this defense, and that's why you see Ford punting after having the ball for about a minute 20 seconds.
A quick 3-and-out by this Falcon offense will give the ball right back over to this Big Red offense. Meg's kick take a bounce at the 46, and
Nice
we'll
roll.
take a little Falcon roll all the way out to midfield. So Schuster and the
there on
boy.
the cover.
On the punt, number
Schuster and the
1,
boys
Luke
back
Kennedy.
to work now for the Big Reds.
Ball goes out of bounds.
You got Cephas has 3 touchdowns.
First down and 10.
I wonder
for
if you
the
let
Red
Ryan
Wolves.
throw 1 or 2 more to maybe get a couple scores and maybe get the clock running. You can empty the bench and get ready for a very tough MAC Red game next week with Eisenhower. Not going to be an easy task.
Zion Mitchell into the game at the running back position now for the Big Reds. Late substitution into the game there for Ford. Ryan Powers in at the linebacker position, looking for that big, deep home run ball in and out of the hands. Good effort. Altamirano had a diving catch back in the first half, nearly had a second highlight reel grab here. And just wasn't able to come down with it as he hit the field turf.
That was a nicely thrown ball, too, by Schuster. That thing just hung up there, ran right underneath it, just missed it. But, boy, what a ball by Ryan Schuster. You know, you mentioned, how Tommy was. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. You've watched him play the post in the basketball team. I mean, he just loves the contact.
This time it's Mitchell, left edge, big gain there. 19 yards on the run.
Well, this offensive line just opening up gaping holes. If you're a running back in this offense, you just got to be salivating every time you get to touch the football.
Zachary Ellison, one of the senior captains along that offensive line. Griffin Block, another tremendous offensive lineman out there. Devontae
For the
Love.
Falcons, number 76, Nathan Pugar.
Just put him on the carousel, spin him around, next guy go in. I think number 7's night is over with, and well-deserved with the 3 touchdown runs, and you're going to need him next week against the blue and silver.
As we mentioned in the first half, that'll be a game that will air right here on Chippewa Valley Cable and bring you plenty of action all season long in what is an absolutely loaded MAC Red league this year. As kickoff conference play next week.
On the receiving end of Schuster's pass.
The other MAC Red games next week, Stevenson at Grosse Pointe South and Romeo at Dakota.
Yeah, almost every week it's state championship matchups in the Red division. It is a loaded division this year. If you are a MAC Red fan, you are in for a treat.
I think it's pretty safe to say it is probably the top division in the state of Michigan. You look at the west side of the state, and the OKC probably is right up there as well. You look at teams like Rockford and the East Grand Rapids, but man, the MAC Red is so loaded.
But there's some good teams, but top to bottom, there's nobody that can match up with the Red. Top to bottom. Now you got some good teams in those divisions. Your Rockfords, your Muskegans, but from 1 to 6 or 1 to 7 in division, you can't match up with it.
A Big Red player down. Can't quite get a visual on the number.
I definitely can see a 5. I cannot see the other number.
Could be Devontae Love, number 75, perhaps. One of those aforementioned offensive linemen.
Trying to see the other numbers in the field. Maybe we can go process elimination. I think it is. When you get in those scrums, bodies flying everywhere, especially if you're an offensive lineman, it's so easy. That's 65.
65?
It's Charles Lee.
Charles Lee.
Looks like a 6.
Yep.
Charles Lee.
Yeah, he got rolled up on there a little bit. Again, when you're in those scrums and bodies flying everywhere, it's not an uncommon thing to have someone come up, roll up on your back there, and twist something or tweak something. So current update from Anchor Bay is Dakota now has gone up 31-7 on Anchor Bay.
Taking care of business, huh?
The matchup of the former coach of the program and the current coach of the program is right now going to the Cougars. I knew Anchor Bay was a pretty solid team coming in. I just thought they would have a hard time matching up with those big guys up front that Dakota really has and is known for, and that kind of prowess takes over, especially on a team that's a little smaller. We have Ford timeout, Chippewa timeout. Sorry.
As we mentioned, Chippewa Valley going 3-4 last season. We talk about a lot of those close games lately for Ford, and we mentioned when they were at the height of their power, they were a good, solid MAC red team. They've been in the MAC white now for the last 8 seasons, and it's been tough sledding for them. 1-6 last season. They got bounced out of the playoffs by the eventual state champions West Bloomfield, 42-0, and their last true playoff appearance, discounting last season, was 2015. They finished that year 5-5. The last season they went above 500 was 2011 when they went 5-4. So it's been really a tough handful of years, last seemingly 10 years for this Ford squad.
Yeah, you got to find a way to get a young group and start to build off of them and just keep it going. But right now, this Big Red offense is just rolling. There's some John down there. Number 3 for Ford has been a little chippy all night. That is Habash. On Cephas's play down the other end of the field when he ran over that young fella, he came and kind of gave Cephas a little shove. So he's been a little chippy all night, just kind of got into it there with one of the offensive linemen giving it to him. And, you're down 31-0. I don't think you need to be running your mouth right now. Yeah, you're a little late for that.
You mentioned a running clock. We will see that if Chippewa Valley is able to extend this lead past 35, and they will do just that as Zion Mitchell cakewalks into the end zone.
And I'm sure that's what Coach Merchant wanted, to get over that 35 mark, because now you can start getting other guys in. The game will move a little bit faster. You want to have everyone healthy for next week when you battle Eisenhower. The Big Reds, Mitchell gets in the end zone, so second running back tonight to score a touchdown. Ernat, who I called before the game to have a big game, had a nice long touchdown catch early in the game. And it's been a total dominating performance by the offense, and even the defense. You see, we talked about how a few missed tackles there in the first half. Ford keeping the ball for a little longer than they probably should have. Defense has definitely come out in the second half and played much better.
Point after attempt is good.
And that's why we got a 38-0 ball game with 1:59 to go in the third quarter.
Ahmed Basic remains perfect as he adds the extra point. Ford still continues to look for their first points of the season.
Yeah, it's got to be a little tough offensively now when you are in your 7th quarter of the season, and you still have yet to cross that threshold into the colored turf. So, it's obviously something, maybe you see the Falcon offense trying to take some chances, maybe downfield that they don't normally do. Just something to kind of give them a little jump start as they get into their MAC White play next week.
And that will be a winnable game for Ford against L'Anse Creuse North at home. Back-to-back home games coming up on the schedule for Ford, L'Anse Creuse North and Anchor Bay, before completing their September portion of the schedule with a road game at Warren Mott. Warren Mott, one of those schools that have kind of bounced up and down from the red to the white and back up to the red, and now securely in the MAC white. And Grosse Pointe South has been one heck of an addition to the MAC red, as they have earned their keep in the MAC red, haven't they?
Yeah, and Grosse Pointe South, I felt should have been up here a while ago. They're a heck of a football team that kind of dominated that MAC white. So it's good that they're up here. I mean, they can do some damage. They very well coached team. They got the Pee Wee program down there that does a really great job. getting the kids ready for high school, and they're a team that's going to be, I believe, around the red for a while, really routing it out to make it a tough division from top to bottom. No weeks off at all, and makes it, like I said, the toughest division in the state. Just not a lot of tread in there for that poor Ford offensive line. Oh, here comes a late flag. 2 flags coming in. There's some John going on down there. Someone's coming out of the game. Oh, looks like Anthony Wright's probably got a personal foul on sportsmanlike here. And that's what happens when you're down 38-0. Try to get some people to start John and get a flag, and that's exactly what the Falcons did. And they get a free 15 yards.
The penalty also stops the clock momentarily. Ball spotted on the 36-yard line.
Well, it looks like Anthony Wright did not come off the field. I'm sorry.
It was Caden Henley.
Yeah, Kendrick came off the field.
66 Henley came out as well. Williams
just driving his feet, trying to get every yard he can. That was a nice job there.
Falls backwards for 5.
Jason Craddock on the stop.
Under a minute now left to go in the third quarter. Gain of about 4. Let's bring down 2nd down and 6 to go.
Tyler Buckhold's coming in, Anthony Wright hustling off. Big Reds cycling some bodies in on defense.
Meg will hand off to Williams once again, lowers his helmet. Keeps the feet churning, but only able to pick up a yard. And we'll see if perhaps Ford will have one final snap here in the third quarter of play, or if they'll head over to their visitor sideline to talk things over. And that appears to be just what they will do. They won't even break the huddle. So 3 quarters in the books. All Chippewa Valley Big Reds here, 38-0. Brad Fetters joined by Jeff Vitale. So glad you guys are tuning us in here for MHSAA Week 2 action. If you're a Big Red fan watching this football game, you have to be pleased with the effort through 2 weeks of the season. It doesn't get much better than this. An impressive victory in Week 1 over Catholic Central, and nice bounce back performance here in Week 2. No signs of slowing down. You wallop Catholic Central, and then you lay it on to Ford here in Week 2.
I mean, they put up 83 points in the first 7 quarters of the season.
And haven't even broken a sweat.
Right, that's pretty good. You know, you've outscored your opponents 83-20. But again, you don't let the highs get too high and the lows get too low, because now you start to get in the meat of the MAC Red schedule, and those first 3 are doozies. You know, Eisenhower, Dakota, and then I believe it's Stevenson, if I'm not mistaken.
Romeo, yep.
So, I mean,
Dakota and Romeo, 2 of those 3 games on the road, Dakota and Romeo back to back.
Yeah, so, you know, there's no weeks off. You prepare for every opponent like it's a state championship, and that's how you can go far in the playoffs. Jet sweep.
The other 2 non-conference games on the Big Red schedule, and those late October games this year will be a home game against Utica, and then they finish the season on October 27th on the road against Oxford.
Play on the blue turf.
Oh yeah, Oxford's got blue turf?
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
cool.
Boise State got their got an uproar over that because they felt it was a copyright infringement, and they did not win that. And if I was Oxford, I'd be sending them pictures every week of that turf. Hey, how do you like our field? Hey, how do you like our field?
Tweeting them out?
Yeah. Thank you, Boise State, for the shout out.
4th and short. Ford will go for it and plunge ahead and pick it up quite easily.
Quarterback sneak.
Number 1 on the quarterback keeper, 1st down.
And got a few starters in there, but for the most part, they've cycled through everybody on defense. You know, Anthony Wright's still in there. Cameron Frazier's still in there, looks like. Darren Hawkins is still in there. Wright's coming out.
And you mentioned something back in the first half that I think is worth noting once again. We can kind of elaborate on it here with this running clock now in the fourth quarter. You mentioned a MAC Red team with 4 wins could possibly make the playoffs this season. And some of our casual viewers, as that pass will fall incomplete, might say, well, I thought MHSA rules said 5 wins might get you in. 6 was an automatic berth. Well, guess what? The playoff has changed. Now we're going based on playoff points, and I like that change by the MHSA. You're rewarding teams for scheduling tough competition rather than perhaps ducking some teams and playing an easier schedule. And a lot of teams were finding it difficult to find games late in the season. Some of these perennial powers were having a tough time scheduling games because nobody wanted to play them because teams wanted to cakewalk their way into the playoffs, where now you don't get penalized for playing tough competition.
Right, and that's the way it should be. I mean, if you're playing championship level schedule, you should be allowed into the playoffs. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, you're playing a bunch of guys that just, 1 or 2 win teams and you're winning, and you shouldn't be able to get in the playoffs. You don't beat anybody.
Quarterback sack.
Cameron Frazier.
It is, in fact, the junior linebacker Frazier.
Nice job of running through that tackle, taking that quarterback down, taking a good angle at him. Deshaun Starks is in the game. Jason Craddock, Tyler Buchholz, try to get you some of these names.
And if I'm not mistaken, the year that Stevenson went on their long playoff run, in the old format, they may have not made the playoffs as a 5-win team. So
true.
Some of those changes, helped one of our local teams for sure.
Jet sweep again. Oh, nice job there by, that was McCreary coming up from his defensive end spot. He made him cut it back in. Jonathan Blue, Craddock, a bunch of big reds in there on the stop, and they're going to force the Falcons, who were pretty much playing their first offense, force them to punt.
That's good recognition there. Just realizing the play is going to be that jet sweep, staying in your lane, staying committed to your position, and that's good recognition. That's watching game tape, and a terrific job by Chippewa Valley there defensively.
Doing what you're taught in practice, those basic things, all those drills and all those reps that you do, you got to be able to apply it to the field.
Timeout on the field. Officials blowing the play dead.
The ball boy getting off the field there, had to make sure he was safely off the field before play was started. Don't want to get called for 12 men on the field. He's in red.
And the 12th player not even be in uniform,
That's right? He's got a red shirt on. He's pretty close to being in uniform.
Nice to see a little bit of a return to normalcy here as the officials are finally able to spot the football back.
Spotted the football, but we're not. I don't know if we've got an official banged up or shaken up.
Oh, yeah, he's holding his lower back. If you remember correctly, a year ago.
Tough game, folks.
Under COVID rules, the centers used to have to spot the football. They were the only players that could touch the ball and spot it. The officials weren't able to spot the football, so we're back to a little bit of a return to normal this year.
Looks like he's going to come off the game.
Perhaps get him an ice bag. I didn't see.
They're taking a look at him. He had to go to the training table.
Casual reminder to check in on the MHSA website if you want to become a full-time official. They're always looking for referees.
Always in need of officials. Ernat, fair catch.
And clock should be running, Jeff. It's stopped right now.
It should be running, correct. And the referee is telling the guy to run the clock.
There we go. Clock back running. Sometimes you just got to remind the clock operator.
Brad, there's a nice sound we didn't hear much of last year. The student section, you see the bands here. There's a lot of things that were missing last year from the atmosphere of a high school football game. It's good to see all that back. You need those student sections. You need that energy. You need that, you know what I mean? It was tough last year, especially with the lack of noise, the lack of sound, the lack of just that atmosphere that you get when you go to a high school football game. It's good to see all that back.
There is something special about Friday nights under the lights. And
Big Red's trying to get set. Coach Merchant had to call timeout. Again, you got some guys on the field early on this season that have not a lot of game reps, trying to figure it out. And good to just kind of take a timeout for a quick second, get on the same page. Maybe someone was misaligned or. Well, 7:22 to go. The Big Reds are going to move to 2-0. The Falcons will fall to 0-2, but again, for both teams, the meat of their schedule is coming up. So even for the Falcons, okay, you're 0-2, but you can start off 1-0 in the white division. That'll definitely make things feel a little bit better. I think if you're the Falcons, you can take away some good things you did from tonight's game. I think there's some things there that you can build on that maybe didn't happen last week. Obviously, playing a tougher opponent in Chippewa Valley, they didn't give up as many points as Bedford put on them last week. I thought the Falcon offense moved the football, possessed the ball for quite a bit of time, as it seemed like throughout the game. And those are some things you can build on next week as you go into LCN, I believe you said, right?
Yes. Yep. They'll go up against LCN. It's a home game, so an opportunity for them to turn the page, right, and kind of put the sour taste out of your mouth. I mean, talk about tough competition. You go on the road to take on Bedford, and then come in here in this MAC red-white crossover game in week 2 and take on an absolutely loaded Chippewa Valley squad. As getting our look at a second-string offense now for Chippewa Valley as Tyler Murray has come into the game, junior 5'10", 140-pound signal caller for head coach Scott Merchant.
Cash Shaw on that last ball carry, nice job to get the middle.
Shaw.
In a 5-yard gain. The backup offensive line there doing a nice job. Number, which I get their names, Colin Sturgeon. Kent Anderson, looks like he's under center.
High snap, able to get it down. Exploring, nothing there to run through for Isaiah Perry.
For the Falcons.
Hunter Emmers is another one on number I see here. Mateo Zarate. There's Zaretti. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Caden Henley on the left side over there. Looks like he's a left guard. Trying to get to see who that left tackle is there.
Cash Shaw has checked into the game at the running back position, number 31 in red. He takes the handoff, goes over to the left side, cuts back towards the middle of the field. Nice hard run there by Cash Shaw.
Rounding out that offensive line is Nathan Easterling, that left tackle spot.
Once again on the carry, number 31.
Lots of bodies in and out.
Cash
It's kind of like the clown car at the circus right now.
Isaiah Perry and Justin Jordan in your backfield now for the Big Reds. I think you'll see a heavy dose of the run game here for Chippewa Valley.
Coach Denreiter down the field calling plays, kind of unfamiliar territory for him. Usually he's up here in the box, but no need right now as the Big Red second offense in there, just moving the ball down the field.
Isaiah Perry.
Again, a lot of new bodies in for Utica Ford as well, as both teams have seemed to empty their benches and let a lot of guys that really bust their butt every day during the week going against those starters, getting beat up in practice, getting a little recognition on the football field, which is always nice.
Yeah, your scout team guys, right? They mimic
the look of the opponent. Yeah, they're really unsung. It's their job all week to run the plays of the other team and give your starters a good look. And what they do for a football team is you can't put a price tag on that. I mean, they're so valuable, and the time that they can get in and play is great for them because they deserve it.
Yeah, getting rewarded with a little bit of PT here in this blowout victory, 38-0, 4:10 now left to go in regulation. False start along that offensive line. Chippewa Valley
false start.
Has had a couple of injuries as we see a player getting tended to on the athletic trainer's table. The referee still hobbled. He's holding his lower back. He's been unable to come back into this ball game.
Hey, it's a tough game, man. Not everyone can do this.
Heather Hellum, the athletic trainer here at Chippewa Valley.
Dakota just putting on Anchor Bay 39-7. Definitely thought that game would be a little closer, but the size up front is just obviously had to be the difference in that game. It could be turnovers, but the difference in this game was the size of the Big Reds up front. especially that offense just being able to control
Jacob.
Ford's defense. Except for the one bad pass, that was the only turnover of the game for Ford.
Yeah.
The ball security for Ford I thought was good. You know, just when that Big Red offense is clicking and CVHS is running the ball, and then you got to try to stop that, and then they go up top to Ernat or down the field to Alta Moreno. You know, the only thing that didn't happen tonight was Ryan Schuster running the ball, and you didn't really need that to happen.
And both Schuster brothers really good with their legs. And that's the problem when you match up with this Chippewa Valley squad. You nearly have to play a perfect game if you want to come out of here with a victory. I mean, there's really no gaping holes on either side of the football for Chippewa Valley this year.
Oh, and your special teams is outstanding.
Yep, got terrific speed at the kick and punt return position. And pretty much automatic kicker in Ahmed Basic. As there is what's it called? Incomplete pass.
Ball hit the ground. I think that was supposed to be a slant, and he zigged when he should have zagged.
Easy enough to do. I think we've all been in that position at one time in our life.
That's one of the things as a quarterback when you do that, and the receiver or whatever whatever the miscommunication was, you just exhale and go, okay, thank God it only goes down as a completion as opposed to an interception.
I actually zigged instead of zagging when I got it in that roundabout over here on the ride into the stadium here tonight.
Gets a little dicey over there.
It can, especially with high schoolers driving through it, I'm sure. Anytime I go through a roundabout, I'm always reminded about the scene, hey kids, look, it's Big Ben, in one of the National Lampoon movies. A student run out onto the field, is that what we had?
Yeah, he came all the way across, hopped the fountain, I don't know where he's going, but and then he came across on the Ford side. Might want to sign him up.
Quick sprint across the field.
That was interesting. Okay, that's something you don't see every day. Didn't probably get that on camera, but we saw it. Clock getting down in about 2 minutes. The Big Reds are going to take a delay of game here and then punt it away. There it is.
It's probably a dare, right? Dare you to double dog, dare you to run across the field during the game.
Yeah, kind of like the videos you see those goofballs at the baseball games running around, and all of a sudden you get a security guard who used to play football, spears them out of nowhere.
I think it was at the Dodgers. Had a female ball girl tackle.
Yeah, she tripped him up.
Yeah,
she allowed the security guards to get him. That was good stuff. Oh, nice punt.
Spiraling high kick.
That's going to take a nice roll. Look at that. Oh, let him touch it.
Now we'll have a rugby scrum, and who's going to come out of it?
Oh, you can hear the Ford coaches from here going, get away from the ball, and he's running to it like he wanted to, like it's a piece of gold.
So there's case in point how good the special teams is as well for Chippewa Valley. A terrific punt.
Outstanding.
And Ford more than likely will only be able to run a play or two here in mop-up time. Really an impressive victory, Jeff. 38-0, back-to-back shutout losses for Ford, but you got to be impressed. We talked about it all game long. Chippewa Valley really clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, and I think, too, if you're Chippewa, though, I think the one thing, too, you're happy about is you've been able to play the first 2 weeks and not show a whole lot. So if you're Eisenhower, get ready because Coach Denreiter, Coach Mercer are going to cook some stuff up. Should be a great game next week. Two powerhouses in the red division, longtime rivals. Should be a fun game.
Worth mentioning once again is that pass is incomplete. We will have that game in its entirety right here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. Check us out on YouTube as well.
Again,
Jeff, you gonna be around for that one?
I should be here. Yeah, I should be able to make that one. And of course, in a couple weeks, then over at Dakota Stadium for the Big Reds and the Cougars, which is always a fun, packed house. So yeah, the next couple weeks are going to be a lot of fun, and let's enjoy some football. High school football is back. The fans are back. Let's enjoy it.
Next week on Friday evening,
one final handoff for Ford up to the 30-yard line. Buzzer sounds. Another victory in the books for the Chippewa Valley Big Reds as they take it over the Ford Falcons. Final score 38-0. Led right from the get-go. CVHS all over this football field here tonight as he ran for 3 touchdowns, and we talked about it. He was able to put his feet up in the second half and relax as they got out to that big halftime lead and never looked back. Once again, your final score 38-0. Jeff, your final thoughts here tonight?
Yeah, good performance by the Big Reds. I thought the Falcons can take away some things from that as well. And you can see here again, a little bit different from last year where they would just kind of wave to each other. They're going to line up on each hashes and kind of a little show of respect. And, eventually, maybe obviously next year we'll see the full handshake from the 50-yard line. But, we're still not out of the woods with this yet. But next week, here we go. Now you got to get ready for Eisenhower and buckle it up, and let's see what happens.
League play next week. Week 3 of the MHSAA season is the start of MAC Red play. It'll be Chippewa Valley and Eisenhower right here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. For our hardworking crew and Jeff Vitale, I'm Brad Fetter saying goodnight one final time from Chippewa Valley High School. Once again, your final score, the Big Reds 38, the Ford Falcons 0. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.